Were you at the media session for JD Martinez?
No,
speaking of the Red Sox,
but I did hear about it. And
well, I'm going to read his direct quote, and then you can go. He's talking about Shohei Ohtani, and he's asked if Shohei will win the MVP award yet again, because he did win it last year, as I predicted.
And he was unanimous. He was right.
And he was unanimous. Here's the quote from JD Martinez. I think it's a no-brainer. How are you going to compete with Ohtani? He's going to win it for the next 5 years. As long as he pitches and he hits, you're not going to beat him. Look at Vlad Guerrero last year. If Vladdy didn't win it, nobody's going to win it. It's too much. If you look at the WAR numbers, the value numbers, who else can affect the game? Both sides. Just change the name of it to the Ohtani Award. Your thoughts?
Prisoner of the moment, no way, no how, and I get it. The whole notion is he's doing something nobody's ever done. That wears off after a while, and it doesn't mean that he's not talented, Chris, or he's not an unbelievable player, and that's why last year he was unanimous. He's pitching better this year.
And he was good last year. He's been even better this year.
Right, even better. But I do think that as time goes on, and we saw this with Westbrook, we both agreed.
Russell Westbrook, yeah.
Right, Chris? We both agreed he deserved the MVP, the year.
Yes.
Because not only did he have the triple-double, the team's record was good, really good when he got the triple-double. It wasn't like they had a losing record and it didn't impact winning. And then you could look at it and go, oh, he's just stuffing a sheet, like
Right.
It didn't matter. And Ohtani has played 2 meaningful games in his 2 years in the United States. Both on opening day. Chris, they are 40-55, 23 and a half games out in 4th place in the AL West. And I'm not totally discounting everything. He's still got to go and perform and whatnot. But you got to have some context to just putting up numbers. And what Aaron Judge, he was just player of the week. Quincy's got a 4-game hitting streak. He's hit in 4 of the 5 games, the last 4. Batting .529. He had 4 home runs, 11 RBIs. The Yankees are virtually tied with the Dodgers now. I think the Dodgers have a 1 percentage point ahead of them or whatever in the record. But my point is, best player on the best team. And he's had big hits, bottom of the 9th home runs to win games, all that other stuff, not just games that don't matter. And I think the him being a two-way star wears as time goes on, and the proof to me is a little bit, and I know it's different, nobody's pitched in, but nobody had done what Westbrook had done, Chris, in a gazillion years in the NBA.
And once, I think your point is that that first time he did it,
it was like,
we
wow.
were all astonished, right? We never thought anybody would do it.
Because we knew that there were plenty of players. LeBron could have done it. There was Kobe, Michael,
Jason Kidd.
There's a ton of players who could have done that. Just scored 10 points, and you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, oh my God. So when he did it, but then Chris, he went on to do it the next 3 years.
He's done it 3 other years, right.
And guess where he finished in the MVP?
Not high.
5th as the highest place, 5th, and even as low as 11th.
Yeah.
So even though he was still putting up these unprecedented numbers that wowed people, people got used to it and like, okay, so he got the triple-double, and look elsewhere for people for MVP, Chris, who maybe affected winning or had more impact. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying what he's doing doesn't matter or he's not a great player. I don't think he's going to win MVP every year.
I do agree with you that it'll wear off. The what's the word I'm looking for? The uniqueness,
uniqueness.
It wears off. There's no doubt about it. And Westbrook is the perfect example. And to say he's going to win the next 5 years is ridiculous because, to be honest, Rob, that will wear off. If he won it this year, then voters would be likely not to vote for him next year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it just voter fatigue is a real thing. And so I think that would be to say he's going to win the next 5 years. And I'm sure J.D. Martinez was probably just throwing something out as like a figure of speech.
But Chris, we've said this before. What year did Michael Jordan not deserve the MVP? Give me a season where he was so bad he didn't deserve the MVP, and he didn't win it every year.
He only got 5.
Right.
He could have had 10. There's no doubt about it. But here's the one thing that is different to me from Shohei and Westbrook, and you'll know it's not a new thing I've said. In baseball, the winning isn't as much of a factor because we all understand that one guy, even a guy that's, pitching regularly and hitting virtually every day, for the most part, even that guy can't impact winning the way you can in basketball or that a quarterback can in football. And so, look, I agree with you right now. Aaron Judge is clearly the MVP in my book, and I think in most people's books. But let Goldschmidt slow down. Let him slump. And I'm telling you, Rob, Shohei's he's in that second wave that if one of those guys or the leaders struggle, and it can happen in baseball, we all know that, then he could make a jump. Would you agree with that?
No, there's always. I mean, we saw that if you do at some point, if you had a bad September, Chris, it could cost you if you slumped in. But my point of right now is, and that's definitely, and if Shohei puts on some amazing numbers, but I'm saying at some point people do look and they go, one guy has tough at bats, again in games that matter.
Right, I agree.
One guy, this, Chris, you get up and there's nothing on the line. You're 25 games out of first place. I could just go and say, I'm not impacting the game from that standpoint, but I could get my 3 or 4 good at bats and get, and get my hits, swing for the fences. It doesn't matter what the score is. If I'm Judge and we really need to move the guy over, or for me to hit a fly ball, not hit it as hard as I can. I need to get a fly ball to get the guy home. It just changes what you do sometimes at the plate, and I think that's the difference.
So with that being the case, what do you do with Mike Trout? Is he done winning MVPs as much as they struggle?
Not done. I mean, he's won, and there were years that he didn't win where people thought he should have. I remember the year Miguel Cabrera had the Triple Crown. People were making the same argument that they're making for Ohtani, that he deserved over Miguel Cabrera, who hadn't had a Triple Crown since the 60s, Chris.
Right.
Since the 60s.
Right.
And they were making the same argument that, look at Trout's numbers and blah 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 blah. But the writers did not vote for him. They voted for Miguel Cabrera, because I think at some point they look at teams winning and they look at and the Tigers were good back then.
I mentioned Paul Goldschmidt, and do you think he's out of the running because obviously?
Well, he's in the National League.
Yeah. No, I know he's in the National League, and St. Louis is playing well.
Yeah, no.
Is he who's your front runner in the National League?
He's got to be right there. Yeah, he's got to be in there, and I'm trying to think, because the Mets haven't had. They've had Alfonso's done great, Alonso, but I'm trying to think in the National League. Who am I missing? Somebody from the Dodgers. Their top 3, Mookie Betts.
Well, Freddie Freeman.
Well. Yeah, Mookie Betts and Trey Turner is another one who's playing really well for the Dodgers. So that's really, But Goldschmidt, wasn't he just named Player of the Week?
Yeah.
I mean, he's another one.
He's playing great.
He was balling out in with Arizona before, in Phoenix before he came.
Now, Judge, though, look, I don't know if he's still on pace to get 60 plus. Is he?
Well, he's got 37? Yeah, 37.
If he does get 60 plus, to your point about Cabrera and even Shohei last year, it'll be something we haven't seen from a guy who wasn't tainted
Right.
by the shadow of PEDs.
And that would make it special.
Since Roger Maris. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you. I think he deserves it right now. But let him slump. Rob, as great as they're playing, I mean, obviously the Astros are right there in the American League.
Right.
And if Judge, and I'm not predicting this, but if he were to struggle in September and the Yankees, who've led the American League,
he wouldn't win the
whole
MVP.
league,
No.
yeah, right. That would be enough. And if Ohtani was playing well, but the bottom line is we both disagree with Martinez, where just because he's pitching and hitting, he's going to be the MVP every year.
Right. And we got the Westbrook example, and we talked about Jordan didn't win every year,
Right.
and he was great every year. Well, what year?
Right.
10 straight years scoring title. He only won five MVPs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right.